Hi guys, welcome to the Wall Pavilion. And today we'll be discussing the first test match of Border Gavaskar Trophy that happened between Australia and India, in which India won by a huge 295 runs against Australia. And uh, yes, we never thought that India will win in this much convincing way or commanding way, even though we were very much optimistic when we discussed in our pre match show that India will win this 4-0 or 5-0 so that we can get qualified for the WTC finals. But even us, even very deep down, we knew that it's not going to be easy and it seemed very improbable. But this Indian team proved us uh, wrong, and they performed in such a magnificent way that we are right now just smiling and discussing about this historic win at Perth. So yes, Prag, what are your views upon this historic Test match win?
So, win apart, first of all, to see Aussies toil hard in the heat of Perth, that's some next level satisfaction. And yeah, the victory was great after like being getting bowled out on 150 and then doing a comeback like this. It's what we can say a great comeback, and also how Jaiswal and Virat played.
Yes.
That's also actually I predicted some of them. Like these two were my guesses of who can bat better in the last podcast. So
Yeah.
happy for that.
So yes, so Jaiswal has become the highest run getter in tests in this year,
Yeah,
2024, and just ahead
most
of
number of sixes,
yes,
uh, youngest to score a century outside
yes.
India in a test match. Many records.
Many records they have shattered. But yes, Jaiswal played wonderfully, and it was just not just how he played, but the way he showed patience and the way he showed temperament after getting out in the first
Yeah,
innings,
yeah.
and specific to the an attacking shot, like right,
Mm.
because as we know, Jaiswal he is a very good batter in T20 and one day formats also, and I just recently uh, watched a graphic where it was discussed that the last few 50s that Jaiswal had scored, it was with more than of 100 strike rate. And the way he played and the way he showed composure in this second innings, it was just uh, so fine that
Yeah. Especially after a duck in the first.
yes, yes. So we'll come to
So
all this in a while. We'll start with uh, very important question that we discussed in the pre-match show as well, that what did you make of the playing 11 when it was first announced, and the decision at the toss that Bumrah chose to?
yeah, so about the playing 11, you already mentioned that that the doesn't seem to have that footwork that might work in Perth. So that's what we faced
but
actually in the
but he was
first
still
inning.
selected, so
Yeah, he was
it
still
was nice.
selected. So
Yes.
yeah, I guess that was to include some more lefty in the team.
Possible. And he also
And
played nicely in
yeah,
the
good.
pre-match, like match
Yeah,
simulations that
and
happened. And
yes,
for India,
mm,
he was
yes.
nice performer over there. Over there.
Mm. And yeah, the selecting batting, like it's a bold decision from Bumrah. Every commentator commented about it that uh, getting to bat first in Australia is
Yes,
something which is not conventional, and I guess we have gotten the fruit of that. Like
yes, yes.
I guess
Now,
Bumrah predicted the pitch change, like the moment that came in the pitch, the difference that came in the pitch.
hmm,
I guess he knew or he predicted well and made the decision accordingly.
yes. So regarding the playing 11, my only surprise was Harshit Rana. Otherwise, all other decisions like playing Washington Sundar over Ashwin or playing Padikkal over any other player, it was still all 50-50, or they were all
Mm.
predictable.
Like
But
they were in
choose
reports.
yes, choosing Harshit Rana over Prasidh or Akashdeep was a surprise for me. But
Mm.
as it always happened, if it turns out to be good, it's a good decision.
Not a surprise.
So no complaints for that, as he made a very good debut in both and took very important wickets in both the innings. So yeah, regarding the toss, I would say that was a very intelligent decision from Bumrah. I think it was a very well thought decision because uh, when the after toss, when the interview was taken of Cummins and Bumrah was 100% sure that he wanted to bet. And while Cummins was still in doubt, he was like 50-50, like he wasn't sure, and he said that it was a good toss to
Yeah.
lose, so that he wouldn't have to make the decision. But yeah, the Perth pitch, like it was raining since 3 days in Perth. Even the grounds were covered, but there was still quite a bit of moisture. So it was a very bold decision because on a pitch where there is moisture and there is grass, there is very significant seam movement, as we saw in both the first innings or the first initial day and half when both innings got uh, over. So in the hindsight, it was nice decision by Bumrah, but also we need to uh, applaud the way India bowled in the first innings, especially Bumrah,
True.
because that was what changed the whole flow of the game.
Also, I think how the pitch was behaving in the first 2 days, 150 was like not that much bad score, how we were predicting. Like it was, I guess, 50 or 60 run less than what would be an ideal score on that pitch. But like 150 was also a good score, not that much that we were like, oh, it's only 150 and like we can lose easily from here. That's what we saw in when Aussies came out to play, right? The
Hmm.
pitch was behaving in such a way that 150, 200 was a good total.
Yes. And let's
A big part of Nitish in that, Nitish and
Nitish
Pant.
in yes, Nitish and Pant stitched together a very important partnership at that point of time and at that point of the test match, because when the wickets started falling, the initial thought to all the cricket fans was of recent 46 all out and 3 years back 36 all out. So
36
this
allowed.
kind of thoughts really haunt us, but luckily Nitish and Rishabh got us out of the trouble, and it was a respectable score. I would not say that it was good score because at that point of time it actually seemed quite less. That I
Mm,
thought
mm.
that 200 might have been a par score and it would have been respectable. But then again, let's move to the man of the hour, Jasprit Bumrah. The way the way he bowled in the first innings, it was like we always say about a captain's knock, but we never talk about a captain's spell. It
Well,
was like that. And no matter however praise we do for Bumrah, we need to do that because we are quite lucky that we don't have to play against Bumrah.
yeah,
You
I
ask,
I saw a meme regarding this that cricket is a simple game. We have Bumrah and you don't. That
nice, sums everything up
yeah.
because Bumrah is not that much fast. Like if you see
Mm.
Stark, if you see even I can't remember who bowls at 150 nowadays, but he doesn't bowl at 150. He bowls at in late 130s or early 140s. But it is the skill that he possesses, the control over the ball, and
Yeah.
most important, when to bowl which kind of delivery. That is
Uh,
what keeps him apart from all the other bowlers right now.
yeah, that's what Stark said about Bumrah, that his execution skill at now is in the top among all cricketers.
So we need to talk about Bumrah in at this point of time because probably in coming years, I hope he doesn't get out of form, but there might come a time when he might get out of form and people doesn't discuss him as much as we do right now. But we need to
mm,
uh like numbers don't justify the fear that he instills in other batsmen. It's like I think he has the fear or he has the scare of what West Indian fast bowlers had in their times, or what Glenn McGrath and Jason Gillespie had in their times. So the way he bowled in the first day, and it was just because of that 6 or 7 wickets. I think it was seven,
mm.
67 for
Yeah,
7 at the
yeah,
end of first day.
67%. Mm.
That changed the whole scenario of how the match was panning out when we got 150 all out. So it was indeed a very deserving man of the match for Bumrah. And then we
Also,
got,
like
hmm,
apart from Bumrah, the aura Harshit Rana has, a tall, big guy running towards you. It's
yes,
he also like bowled great lines along with Siraj.
true, true. So this was another point of concern when we discussed that we have Jasprit Bumrah, but what about the other supporting
Hmm,
roles?
hmm.
But I believe in this test, Siraj also came in quite a good form, and Harshit Rana also supported quite well. Even in fourth innings, Nitish Rana also came to pick up his
Yeah.
maiden wicket, and it was quite an important one. So everyone supported Bumrah very well. And even in the second innings, Siraj also got three, Bumrah also got 3 wickets. So it was over and all a very nice performance from Indian bowling unit. So what about now? We go into the batting of India. So we already discussed about how pitch changed. So
Mm.
what were your views on this? That what happened in what were the difference between first, second, and third day onwards? How pitch changed?
So the main difference was, I guess, the average bounce was reducing.
Hmm.
So they also showed a pitch map for this. The average bounce for both Indian pacers and Australian pacer, it reduced day by day. And like majority of outs that we see for our players in the first inning, for example, Kohli, it was due to the extra bounce that he didn't expect from that ball. So
Yes,
I
true.
guess once that bounce part was gone, it was only about the swing, then our batter were comfortable with the swing.
Hmm. Hmm.
And also, like it's the Australian way to leave the ball, right? They like for our team, we leave the ball seeing the line of the ball. Like if it's in the stump line, then we leave. But
Yes,
Australian players playing on Perth since a long time, they know that if the length of the ball is somewhere
short.
far from them, they can leave the ball because they trust the bounce of the Perth.
And that's what
So
caused the downfall of Labuschagne
yeah,
in the second inning because he
true.
trusted the bounce, but it
Bounce and
didn't
yeah.
bounce as per his expectations. So, yeah, very true, the way you described. And also, there was, as I talked, that there was some moisture because of the previous day's rains. And then, as the game progressed, the sun started beaming down, pitch got dried up. So, Bumrah also said in his, I think, one of the days and press conferences, or in one of the interviews, that he knew that Perth's pitch gets quicker as the days or as the
Mm,
test progresses. So it also happened the same movement that means that when ball pitches and how much it moves, it decreased drastically in the second innings of both the
mm, mm.
teams. So that was the main difference why both the teams looked at ease in the second innings.
But we have Bumrah, we don't need the pitch. So for him, the seam didn't quite changed for him. It behaved like the same way.
Yes.
So I actually was hoping that our other bowlers' performance might get down, but Bumrah's would be the same because
Yeah.
that guy
No,
doesn't need a pitch.
we are so much accustomed to see Bumrah performing well and performing up to the mark that sometimes we may underestimate or underrate him. But
Yeah.
we need to talk about him as much as possible. So, and people will be talking about him.
Also, in the
Yes.
first half, like in the first innings of India, the way how KL played, that was
I was very
like
proud of him, the way
the-
he played.
I
Not
am
only
I am
first inning.
not I am not a big fan of KL, but the way he was playing was actually quite good.
I'm a
So
huge
he was
fan
like,
of KL Rahul, to be very honest. Ever since he started batting, I always got disappointed when he hasn't been consistent. Let's be honest. But he's one of a very few players that can bat at any position in a team, and
any position, true.
that's a huge bonus for a team. And I think that's why he's there. And he always keeps his hands up that okay, if there is no opener, I'll open the batting. If there is no middle order, I'll open. I'll play in the middle order. Probably if in next game Rohit Sharma comes and if Shubman Gill doesn't, he'll probably bat at number three.
Hmm.
So he's one of those very rare breed of players who can play at any position. And believe me, it's not easy to change your mindset in each game to play in a different
And
position.
that also with not being in form. So
Yes.
whenever he's given a new position, it's like he's making a comeback or so. So new position
Making that
apart
position
from,
his own.
yeah, true.
So imagine you have played a wonderful test match as an opener, and in the next game you're asked to move down at number five or number six.
Or maybe asked to move down on the bench.
Yes, exactly, exactly. But yeah, uh I really appreciate. I love KL Rahul, and it always disappoints me when
Also,
he.
also one more hot topic, the third umpire's decision for KL in the
Yes,
first inning.
yes, the third umpire's decision for KL, like, uh, it was just, it was not conclusive. Let's be honest. Whenever you're about to change
Overturn a
the
decision, it needs
overturn,
to be,
it needs
yeah,
you have to conclude. You have to have
yeah,
conclusive proof,
exclusive
and it was
evidence,
not
yes.
conclusive at all. And also,
True.
the most uh, stupid thing that I felt during this whole test match is that you have, like, just before KL Rahul got out or before that decision on the first morning, the commentators were discussing, Australian commentators were
About the
discussing.
number of cameras, right?
There are more than 80 cameras
Yeah.
around the ground who are covering each and every angle of each and every ball. And then when you third umpire needs to make a decision that give me a front line angle or front angle, and you don't have that angle, how stupid that is. So that's that happens. It If it would have led to our loss, it would have been a huge
Yeah.
controversy. But I feel the umpire will get away with that. I don't know. So I also listened to the technicalities of this thing, that uh, there are two teams involved in decision review system. One is the umpire, and the other is the cameraman who is providing him all the angles. So when cameraman starts providing third umpire angles, it is third umpire's responsibility to ask if there are other angles or if there are useful angles, right? Once third umpire says that okay, the decision, I have made my decision, the cameraman or the team cannot say that wait, I have another a few more angles. They cannot say that.
Mm.
So it is third umpire's responsibility to take as much as time possible or ask for as much as in camera angles possible to reach up to a decision. So that was what, uh, like, it was quite hurried decision on the uh, part of third umpire. So yeah,
Also,
will
like
always.
regarding this umpiring case, like there were 4 to 5 LBWs in which there were the final decision was umpire's call.
Yes,
So upon this, the commentators were discussing a very good point that like they were just asking that whether the umpires that have played in those grounds, like they were talking about keeping a home umpire, like
right.
it should be an Australian umpire so that he can make a better judgment about the ball hitting the stump or not,
Hmm.
something like that. But that was a good
Yeah.
discussion they were having.
Yeah.
So one, I guess DK was agreeing that it should be a home umpire, and one was not because the home umpire might
It's again a
cheat.
controversial thing
Yeah.
because in past we had this kind of umpire schedules. I don't know if you know about it or not, but I think about 10 or 15 years back it was like there was one home umpire and there was a neutral umpire. It was like
Oh.
that in most of the international matches. Then they changed it to both the neutral umpires so that they don't have to face any kind of biases or all and
Mm.
all.
Mm.
But I understand that now, since there is DRS available, it might be a good decision to have have uh, one home umpire and other neutral umpire. So I didn't listen to this discussion. Probably I was busy at some place. But yeah, it seemed like a very helpful discussion. Yes.
Yeah. Also, this guy is back.
Oh, yes. That's a huge relief. Rather than celebrating it, it was like a huge relief
Yeah.
for us as Indian fans that Virat Kohli has finally scored a century. And as we also discussed this in pre-match show that it is important for King Kohli to have a very good series if India needs to win this. And
Mm.
comes the hour, comes the man. So
It's like
and
Australia and Pakistan are two teams to bring Virat Kohli in form.
he loves playing against Australia.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like even in Australian media, it is all about Kohli, Kohli. He's
Yeah.
such a superstar there. People come to see him play.
There was one scene from the dressing room, right? The Aussies were discussing that just go out there, but don't miss to see how a legend plays. How someone who is at the top of his career and probably the best cricketer of your generation goes
Yes,
out there and expresses himself. That was the coach telling to the Aussie players. That is something
yes,
like it talks about what Virat has achieved.
true, true. Also, this inning of Virat was like more about how he used to play around 4 or 5 years back,
Mm.
like building up quite slowly and not rushing into anything. Because if you see his last few innings in which he hasn't scored a century, I mean, up to his standards, like he has scored 50s, 60s, 70s, but he's unable to score centuries. So it means that he's not out of form. He's still in form, but some or the other, for some of the other reason, he was getting out after getting set. So if you see in this inning, he built it up quite slowly. He was just going around the
Mm.
strike rate of 40 or 50, and then once he got to around 70, and when Nitish joined him, they both started playing in a more aggressive manner. So this is how traditional Kohli inning builds up over what we have seen over the years. While when we saw him again playing against New Zealand or before that in other tests, it seemed like he was trying to make things happen. He was trying to
Mm.
uh, run, like we saw how he got run out uh, just an over before the end of the day, or how he got out on the last ball of the day against New Zealand. So that shows that he was a little bit tentative and wanted to, he was a little bit unsure of what is going to happen. But today, uh, yesterday, when we saw him playing, it seemed like he was at peace and he was playing like the old Kohli that we remember.
Also, now let's come to the sledging part of the game, the best, the essence of BGT.
Yes, it's not like the same sledging that was. going on in previous era. Like even Australians have mellowed down quite a lot. Like when we think about
Quite a lot. Like
Steve
it's the
Waugh's era or even
yeah.
Michael Clark's era when Mitchell Johnson was bowling, it was it was proper sledging, which was not allowed on cricket pitch or which was very
Mm,
harsh.
mm,
But if you see now, it's more kind of friendly banter or it's more
mm.
kind of passive aggressive kind of banter that is going on, which is quite interesting and quite funny about how it goes. Specifically, Mitchell Stark telling to Harshit Rana that
Yeah, I have a long memory. I bowl
I'll
faster
bowl,
than you.
I can bowl faster than you, and then Jaiswal getting back at him.
Yeah. It's coming too slow. Also, Jaiswal playing with Marnus about getting into the crease. That was also good.
Yes,
But Travis Head gave us a below the belt. It
yes,
was, yeah. Harshit Rana gave him a look and had replied that I have smashed the whole unit in the T2023 World Cup.
yes. And in the next over,
That
Bumrah
was
caught
not
it.
good. Yeah, that's why that was the reaction from Bumrah. Like Virat, it's always the same
Yes,
reaction, but
but
Bumrah
Bumrah,
doing
it
that
was we don't
was,
see Bumrah getting that much hyped
yeah,
up or getting that
true.
much emotional. But also when you see Australia's batting, uh, the fact that they haven't played a test match since March played a huge role in
Mm.
in this test match. No matter how much net sessions you do, no matter how much practice sessions you do, a match is a match. It's a completely different pressure. And I I know that Australia will be coming hard and in the next pink ball test match. Australia haven't lost in Adelaide in a pink ball day night test match. They have played 7 and won 7. So again, India have
I
a
guess I
good
guess we
chance to
gave
make
them a
history.
big reality check. We should we should have defeated them by a small margin. They should not awaken. Like once we get
Awaken
four
the Giants.
victories, then you do whatever you want. But before that, also that was great. Virat going on the non-strikers and like over. It was an over, and like Virat was running to the other end. While running, he told Marnus that don't you have a bat, mate? Because he took two or three balls on the belly from Harshit Rana. That was also great.
Also, I liked the way how India batted on the second and third day. It was proper old-fashioned test cricket that I watched after so long. Like
Mm.
recently, if you
Apart
see,
from Pant,
yes, apart from Pant, but if you see that, I'm talking mainly about the partnership between Jaiswal and Rahul. That
then
how
yeah, true.
beautifully they played, beautifully they left the ball and showed the composure and patience. It was just like we were in the old classic test match era when good balls were getting respected, bad balls were getting
Yeah,
to the boundaries.
no baseball, no hitting, nothing.
No
Just
jazz ball, no buzz
pure
ball.
compassion.
And also, I want to mention another thing about Rahul that Rahul played a huge role in keeping Jaiswal calm. And
Mm.
during his innings, we could see how they talked between the overs, or if, even after a boundary, if Jaiswal hit, Rahul will immediately go to him and calm him down or guide him through his innings. So it was also a very important role that Rahul played.
It's actually unfortunate Rahul didn't get a century
Go
there.
a century. Yeah. So so what's next? There is a six.
I just want to keep continue seeing Australian players getting the ball from the boundary once the bowler bowls a bad ball down the leg sides. It just feels so satisfying. I was like rewinding it and playing it again and again. Josh Hazelwood bowling down the leg side and the slip player's going to get the ball.
No, we don't expect it from Hazelwood. Like, right,
Yeah, true.
Stark and Cummins are still, they can still go wayward, but Hazelwood is like a bowling machine that keeps on bowling
Yeah,
one place.
at good length, yes.
Also, we got too many overs into the Australian fast bowlers. Like in second innings, they bowled around 138, while our fast bowlers are still relatively fresh. Well, it won't matter much because we have now 10 days gap between the
Mm,
second test match, and we have a practice match before that against uh, Australia 11, Prime Minister's 11, I think.
mm,
So we'll see how our players perform there. And I'm really hoping Shami comes back for Adelaide Test because he'll be very much lethal with
yeah,
one
just
ball and the way he'll bowl. Imagine him pairing up with Jasprit Bumrah. Oh my God, it will be a nightmare for Australians.
2023.
2020
Everything comes back in a circle
goes
to
back
that
to
one
that.
thing.
I think this series win will heal
This would be
those
different.
heal those wounds.
Yes. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. So I think that's it. We'll come back after a few days to discuss
With a
about.
pre-match presentation.
Yes. And also we might also discuss IPL auction because it's been
Yeah.
a huge auction this time. And do you know a 13-year-old player
Yeah.
is selected? Rajasthan Royal has selected a 13-year-old
Is Suryavanshi, right? Prithvi
Vaibhav
Suryavanshi or
Vaibhav.
Vaibhav Suryavanshi?
Imagine him playing at the age of 13 and getting
I
selected
saw
for
one meme like the chain kuli ke main kuli boy hitting sixes around.
1.10 CR. So we
And Sarfaraz Khan going unsold.
Mushir Khan got
That
selected. So
yeah.
David Warner going unsold. So every IPL auction brings up certain surprises and certain shocks. So we can discuss it in the next uh, podcast. Let's see. And yeah, so wishing Team India a fast recovery, specifically the bowlers and Rohit and Gill and Shami, so that we can come back strong, even stronger in the second test. So till now, our prediction is going good, 4-0 or 5-0. We can uh we can stick to that
Three to go.
as
Three
well.
to go.
To go, three to go. Yeah,
Yes. Bleed blue, guys. Bye
lead.
bye.
Bye. See you in the next episode.